Quite a wonderful story.
Yeah, today's a nice, typical autumn day in central London. Just this beautiful late blooming flowers there. But I just wanted to show you this because it's a fascinating tomb of someone you'd all be familiar with. So recognise that, William Blyth. William Blyth. Ring any bells? It should do, because he was a captain of that ship in the Mutiny on the Bounty. And great movie. The original was with not Trevor Howard, Charles Lawton, and also Clark Gable as Fletcher Christian. Then there was a Marlon Brando version and Trevor Howard in the 60s. And then later on there was the Bounty with Mel Gibson, which I've never actually seen. But this is William Blyth's tombstone here, which is just in Lambeth Palace, south of the river. And lots of famous people. The Archbishop of Canterbury still lives here. And this place is just part of the Lambeth Palace, which is known as the Garden Museum. It's a little bit dark now, so if it seems dark, it's because it is. And who else was it who lived here at one time?
Sorry?
Who else lived here at one time?
Lived well.
Here?
Well, it's the Archbishop of Canterbury.
And no one else? No, you said someone else. Right. So this is it. So Captain Blyth is down there, but my friend was telling me, despite the character they made of him in the films, Captain Blyth was a good seaman of the nautical variety, and
he was a very capable man.
A very capable man. And
when they put him over the side in the ship's boat after the mutiny,
yeah,
the ship's carpenter went with them, and the mutineers let him have his box of tools.
Right.
And one of the mutineers said, if you give Blyth something like a hammer and some nails, within a month he'll have built the ship and sailed back to England.
Really?
They knew how capable he was.
Wow.
And he got back to England.
God.
And then they chased after them, and some of the mutineers were hung, brought back from London and hung.
I must read up on his background sometime.
He wrote a book about it after the mutiny.
Right.
About the voyage. He was some guy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah. So you can't always believe the Hollywood characters.
Well,
they
he had
make
a bit of bad luck, because when they were put on trial, some of the mutineers years later,
yeah,
in London, the mutineers slagged off Blyth, obviously,
yeah,
and said he was the way he treated us, and they wondered we mutinied. And Blyth was away on the other side of the world on a ship, so he couldn't speak for himself.
And what charge were they charged with?
Well, mutiny.
Mutiny, serious offence, yeah.
Mutiny at sea was a capital offence.
I mean, at the end of the day, who knows? You know, you these characters possibly thought in Hollywood.
They went to Tahiti, and they had plenty of women and food and
yeah,
and they didn't want to get back to the misery of the Navy.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah, I imagine that's the case when you've been at sea for months on end.
He had a very sharp tongue, Blyth, but he wasn't a monster made out.
No.
He had a very sharp tongue for people who weren't performing.
But the mutiny was led by Fletcher Christian, yeah.
But Fletcher Christian,
Mr.
he'd already
Christian.
he'd sailed with Blyth before.
Yeah.
And he chose to sail with him again.
Wow.
And then he mutinied against him.
God, yeah. So two good seamen.
But Fletcher Christian ended up being murdered. They went and found Pitcairn Island, together with some of the South Sea Island people on their own, and they started murdering each other.
Oh,
Fletcher Christian was murdered.
Because I think the people of the Pitcairn Island today, they are of English descent, aren't they?
They're descended,
English descent, English and because wasn't there trouble some years ago about them being underage sex and that, yeah. God, but I imagine when you're at sea for months on end, I mean, it's same in the War of Independence, when you spent 2 weeks at sea, I imagine you take whatever creature, an army wants its comforts, doesn't it, I suppose, yeah. So there's still a church here today, and it's beautiful grounds. I've never been in there, of Lambeth Palace. This is only part of it. This is the Garden Museum, and it's good for plants. If you're ever in London, you can visit this place. South of the river. Sorry, you were saying?
After the mutiny, the people in the boat all thought they were going to die. Right. It was like being marooned on the moon.
Right.
And Blyth said, "Don't worry, I'll get you home." And he sailed them in an open boat, 3,500 miles.
My God.
To South Timor, I think it is.
Wow.
3,500 miles in an open boat. He sailed them.
Incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
One or two died, but most of them got.
And I imagine those ships, the sails were the size of football pitches, I would imagine.
No, but this was in the open boat.
Wow,
ship was
incredible. It's incredible. All done on a sexton, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just a
Well,
sexton.
he had the sexton.
And look here, they've got the Blythe's breadfruit. This is the tomb of William Blyth, who was commissioned to transport breadfruit to the Caribbean in 1791.
To feed the slaves.
To slaves, yeah. So basically it was the Atlantic Triangle, wasn't it? I think between Bristol, New York, which was part of England then, and back to Liverpool, which was another slave port.
But of course, Britain in the end made slavery legal and patrolled the seas at great expense to kill the slavery trade.
Yeah, yeah.
So much that we should be ashamed of.
Yeah, but so we did try and stop it. Look at the detail on this tomb here. Whose tomb is this? My God. The detail on this, it's fascinating. It's amazing how it's stood the weather for many years. Look at this, God.
Yeah, who's this?
Looks like, what year is this one? Most of the writings are a lot of moss on top. Yeah, I don't know. So, needs a bit of a clean up. Spooky. Yeah. So that's it from Lambeth Palace. Nice place to visit if you're ever in town. And I think, as with London, all London, I think it was Dr. Johnson who said the person who's fed up with London is fed up with life. There's always something to see and do. I haven't seen it all yet. This was a little cemetery, a lot of this, so it's so dark here now, is what they call consecrated ground, where there used to be a seventh cemetery and they're built on. But with consecrated ground, does that mean that they took the bodies out, they took the skeletons out, or
He's still there, isn't he?
he's still there? But
There'll be other graves underground.
so the bodies will still be down there,
Oh, yes.
presumably. Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, it's a bit like the Titanic, I suppose. They want to leave beautiful plain stained glass windows there. For a lot of people died in the Titanic as well. It's considered to be their final resting place. They
William
don't.
Bligh, respect.
Yeah,
He was some guy.
He was known for his discipline, wasn't he? And I imagine.
Well, he was sort of exaggerated.
Yeah.
They're all known for their discipline.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all known for their discipline.
You had to be. I would imagine. Yeah. Let's go back in. Yeah. Still relatively mild for November, isn't it?
I feel like the mannequins go there and there, and then they can have their stall there. We'll move. Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, I didn't
sound like
realise
you're
you were
doing
recording.
you're doing a bit of housekeeping. No problem. I was just doing one on Captain Bligh out there.
Oh,
with
very good,
fascinating
yes.
character. I was saying,
indeed.
you can never know what these people are like, from the movies, the Hollywood films. It's. I imagine life was hard, but imagine when you're thousands of miles from home, you've got to have a disciplined crew, haven't you? But
Well, he worshipped at this parish and lived just down the road, so that's why
fascinating,
he's in the garden.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, and I say when it became consecrated ground, they left the skeletons there. They didn't move the skeletons.
Lots of the ones underneath our feet were taken away in the 1850s because of cholera.
Cholera, I see.
Yes.
I see.
So there's not many bodies underneath our feet, but in the tombs they are, as far as I'm aware, still
Right.
there.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, great stuff. Yeah. Oh, this is where the church was, or is? Or
Yeah,
whatever,
that's right. This is the museum.
Oh, this is the museum. It was a church, and I mean, fascinating place. Formerly a church. Genealogy, yeah. So Captain Blyth actually worshipped at this church when it was a church, The English, not really being a religious people, a lot of their churches are now art galleries and flats and everything. Oh, I could go on all day. Great place. Anyway, see you soon.